After 7 long years and 5 harrowing seasons, You, the Netflix romantic thriller starring Penn Badgley, finally comes to an end. While creepy and shocking, You has pretty much garnered a cult following to the extent that its anti-hero, Joe Goldberg, is considered TV's hottest stalker. And while Robert Pattinson and Adam Brody are in the Renaissance era, the whole concept of falling in love once again with an old teen heartthrob pretty much began with Penn Badgley, who erupted on the scene with You after lying low following Gossip Girl's finale. But does Joe get the ending he deserves? Well, April 2025 has been a very busy month for Netflix. From Black Mirror's latest season and Devil May Cry's, shall we say, subjective adaptation, to beloved K-drama Weak Class Hero making a comeback. The theme seems to be fan service, as we also get You Season 5 in the same month. The show brings all the hit tropes that made it so popular to begin with, along with some old faces such as Season 1 Lady Love Beck, to help bid goodbye to the charming serial killer. Season 5 picks up 3 years after the events of the previous season, with Joe returning to New York as a hero. Now a trophy husband to Kate Lockwood, he spends his day with his son Henry and backs his wife as she enters the den of vapid corporations. However, his new and peaceful life is threatened when the Lockwood twins, Reagan and Maddie, come for Kate, while Bronte, a newcomer, sparks something in Joe that was lying dormant for the last few years. Desperate to give Henry the love and life he deserves, Joe struggles to keep his old self at bay and his desires in check. But it's not easy, as Bronte keeps getting closer to him, while Kate starts distancing herself too. Can Joe protect everything he's worked so hard for, or will his restraints finally snap and destroy everything? With steamy affairs, murders, betrayals and mind games, You sticks to its usual format to wrap up Joe's story. We're back in New York, as I mentioned before, complete with Mooney's bookstore and Joe's infamous glass cage. The soundtrack album, as usual, is star-studded and pretty symbolic to the scenes, including recent hits like Hosier's Too Sweet, Mitski's Washing Machine Heart, and Chappelle Roan's Picture You. During a particularly thrilling cliffhanger that changes the game, Olivia Rodrigo's pop rock track Vampire highlights the absurd situation that Joe and Bronte find themselves in. And because You so painstakingly curates its soundtracks, perhaps it's a bit of a wasted opportunity not to use Britney Spears' Baby One More Time when Joe dramatically laments that his loneliness is killing him. But fret not, as You Season 5 is more than just its soundtrack ensemble. In particular, Penn Badgley, Anna Camp as the Lockwood twins, and Tati Gabrielle, who has a cameo as Marianne, steal the show. It's no surprise for Gabrielle, who's always brought her A-game here. Back in the previous seasons, as poor Marianne always seems to be going through something traumatic. But Anna Camp deserves a shout out as Maddie and Reagan Lockwood. With writing twin characters in a story, you already know there are going to be some classic identity switch ups and nasty sibling rivalry. Coupled with the fact that she plays characters in the world of You, Camp has a heavy burden, and she aces it with flying colours. Maddie is the comic relief of the show, single-handedly grabbing the label of black comedy genre for You Season 5. She's a ditzy airhead, but once she experiences what it is to be an acquaintance to Joe Goldberg, her character development is extremely satisfying. As for Penn Badgley, he does some of his best work this season, now that Joe's pretense is gone and he accepts and embraces his evil side. Even then though, Joe is so delusional that it's hilarious watching him rationalise his actions. The highlight of the season is the finale, and while the final showdown here is expected, it's not the action but Badgley's treatment of a wild Joe that's the best part here. Again, I'm being careful not to spoil anything, don't worry. Even if there had been no narration, one can see when Joe flips a switch and completely changes into a different person. It's even more terrifying than Season 4's fake Reese, and here there's no Ed Spilliers to differentiate Joe's two personas. Just Badgley tapping into Joe's craziness. However, the finale is far from perfect and might actually disappoint a lot of fans. Joe is one of the most complex and enigmatic characters written here, and it's not every day that someone as horrible as him can be labelled TV's hottest stalker. He's a romantic, he genuinely believes he's right, and while he is delusional, he has power. We in fact see this during a cancel culture plotline, a poke at the real world romanticising people like him. And while Joe, as a human, gets the sordid end he deserves, as a character, his resolution is far from satisfactory. Season 5 is not only slow and messy, it also ruins the narration plot device in the finale. Obviously, we can't go into this for spoiler territory, but the final episode basically becomes the Joe and Bronte show. And while one can always depend on Madeline Brewer to channel her inner manic pixie dream girl for an unhinged character like Bronte, Bronte as a character is not exactly the best person to wrap up Joe's storyline, especially since there are way more impactful characters like Love, Beck, or even Ellie. Even Kate Lockwood, one of the main characters, is relegated to the sidelines by the end, playing a passive role for the majority of the season. But somewhere we can accept that by denying the perfect, flashing and dramatic ending, we deny Joe Goldberg, who would have loved that sort of thing. And despite everything, You Season 5 is an entertaining watch with strong performances, beguiling characters caught in absurd situations, and a solid soundtrack too. Paired with heavy themes of identity crisis, abandonment issues and self-esteem, at least the Netflix show sticks to its brand of complexity and introspection. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.